Africanus.
My grandparents, they told me later on in life that it was always the role of grandparents to educate their grandchildren. So they themselves, they got that knowledge from their grandparents. If the grandparents were not available, the uncles or anybody took that role to sort of just pass on the tradition, pass on codes of conduct, ethics, the social order. So through those stories, that is what was being passed on. So it's just because you find the African culture, sub-Saharan Africa really, they did not do much writing. So everything was passed orally. And in West Africa, well, they had the griots who would pass this culture. But in Southern Africa, it was the role of, well, they had some mediums like spirit mediums or whatever who would pass the tale of, the clan and so on. But at the same time, grandparents played a very important role in making sure that these traditions are passed from one generation to the next. My origins are Shona. Shona is a tribe that makes up 85% of Zimbabwe. Now, the Shona are very, more or less, they were a very kind of a spiritual kind of tribe, really. They extended from parts of Mozambique, present-day Mozambique, all the way into Zimbabwe, and that's my tribe. But within my tribe, there are also sub-tribes in there. So within the Shona, I am from the Karanga tribe. Now the roots of the Karanga tribe, these are the people who are said to have built the great Zimbabwe, where the name of the country comes from. They were the time of the Monomotapa. It used to be called the Monomotapa Kingdom, and through there, these people, after hundreds of years, there were tribal wars that actually ended up defeating this famous Monomotapa Kingdom. So that's generally the roots of my tribe. So we are from descendants of the Monomotapa. When you look at sub-Saharan Africa, most of the histories there was kind of changed or manipulated by the colonizers to suit their efforts to colonize. For example, if you look at the great ruins of Zimbabwe, for example, when the first colonizers came there, they assumed that those ruins or those monuments and so on were the remains of possibly King Solomon's mines, whereas in actual fact, these were built by the locals. They were civilized in their own way, but somewhere along the way, wars took place and kingdoms were destroyed, but some of it is just lost, lost as we go along. It just gets lost, or it just gets misconstrued and is not correctly represented in history, in the modern day history. So those are some of the things that we could say, let's vie to get a correct representation of history.
Africanus.